Well, here we are. It's October, into the fall weather, and quickly creeping into that winter stuff. And here in the Pacific Northwest, that means a couple of things. First off, that means every day we have less and less daylight hours. It is quickly getting colder, and it's definitely getting wetter. Now, every time we transition from one season to another, I make a couple of adjustments to my EDC gear, and that's what we're here to talk about. This is my fall/winter EDC gear update. Before we get started on this EDC gear update, just real quick, I'm going to leave some links down below for some of the things, belts, flashlights, etc., etc. If you want to go check those out, feel free. Also, you guys know that, we're struggling with YouTube when it comes to 2A content. So every time you leave a comment on a video, every time you like a video, share a video, you know the routine. That is the only way that this type of content can push through YouTube's suppressive algorithm. There's also going to be a link down below to my Rumble channel. Everything gets posted on Rumble. In fact, if you go over to the Rumble channel, you're usually going to get this content at least a day earlier over on Rumble, if not up to a week earlier. The reason that content goes up early over on Rumble is Rumble approves it right away. They don't care. You can post almost anything. The problem is that most people don't watch content on Rumble. So for those of you watching on Rumble, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. For those of you on YouTube, hit those buttons down below. If you want the content early, go hit the Rumble channel. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about, and this is no big surprise to anybody who's watched this channel for any length of time, is going to be the Hellcat Pro. And specifically, this is what I affectionately like to call the Apex Edition Hellcat Pro. This one is sporting the Apex Custom Slide, as well as the Apex Barrel. Basically everything that Apex offers, I have on this gun, with the exception of the takedown lever. Now, the takedown lever from Apex, I wasn't a huge fan. It's not that I didn't like it, but I added this Go Gun USA gas pedal. I find that I get a much better grip on this gun with that gas pedal. A lot of people ask me, does it make a difference in how the gun carries or conceals? It really doesn't. The holster that I have is set up to work with this gas pedal, so, it doesn't really make any difference whatsoever. Now, when I'm shooting, it makes a huge difference. I have added a little bit of grip tape to it because you guys know I have horrible grip. Carpal tunnel sucks. But being able to get just a little bit more grip on there is worth its weight in gold. I think that was like a $5 upgrade to add that grip tape, but it made a world of difference. Now, some of the other things that I have on here, TLR7X. This is probably my favorite light that's out right now. Generally, I use the TLR7A, but the X is a little bit brighter, so that's nice. I do have the rechargeable batteries in there. They're kind of a pain in the butt, but you know what? They're rechargeable, so whatever. Now, this gun used to have the Talon Pro grips on it. They started wearing out, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to try this Hogue grip. The Hogue grip is a little bit less than a set of Talons, but honestly, I do think that it's a better product. The Hogue gives you a little bit more, thickness to grab onto. You get the finger grooves, which normally I'm not a big fan of finger grooves, but in this case, they work really well, especially when combined with the Floyd's Custom Shop Magwell. My hand seats in there really well. I get an extremely good grip. I have a lot of control over the gun. Even on those days where my carpal tunnel is in a full-blown flare-up, I have a lot of control over this gun. I think that the combination of the two, the grip and the magwell, is phenomenal. One of the things about using a magwell is a lot of them, you're going to have to change out the stock mag bases. Now, for this configuration, what I'm doing for my carry mag, I have the standard 15 round mag, and I just have the +2 mag extension. With that +2 mag extension, it's not adding a lot to the actual length of the gun, the grip. It still conceals really well. And so now I have 17 rounds as my primary mag when I'm carrying this gun. For my backup, I have another 15 round mag, and this is the, I believe that's +6 on there, giving me a total of 21 rounds for my backup. Now you may think that that's excessive. I would rather have more and not need it than have less and run out. Now for optics on this Hellcat Pro, and you guys know that I have several different variants of Hellcat Pro, but on this one specifically, I have the green Holosun 407K. One of the things that I really like about the Apex slide is that it is designed for a direct fit for that Holosun optic. No plates required. Also, I don't know if you guys caught the video or not, but this is also an Apex barrel. This is a ported Apex barrel designed specifically for that Apex slide. This combination is great. It shoots flat, it is accurate, it's fast. I really enjoy shooting this configuration. I've been carrying a Hellcat Pro in one form or another since its release, and to me, this gun is the best thing that's out there for concealed carry. I haven't found anything that checks as many boxes for me as this one does. We can start with the thickness. You know, it's 1 inch thick. Mine, of course, is thicker because I have the Hogue grip and the gas pedal, but still, even with those additions, it still conceals extremely well. The 3.7 inch barrel, some people complain that this gun is snappy. I don't know, to each their own, but I don't necessarily think it's as bad as some people complain about. At 3.7 inches, it is certainly tamer than the smaller size guns like the, smaller Hellcat. The other advantage is that it has essentially a full-sized grip without having to use any hokey pinky extensions to get a good solid grip on the gun. Some people believe that having the shorter grip gives them better concealment capabilities, but I don't necessarily think that that's true. This gun, in its current configuration, I conceal this almost every day of the week. You would never notice that I have it on, and you know what? I've gained quite a bit of weight these last few years, and I can still hide this gun like it doesn't exist. That longer grip, it doesn't make a bit of difference. In fact, I also have the magwell and a 17 round mag, and I'm still concealing it. My problem with the shorter guns, with the shorter grips, is that when you're using a mag that has a pinky extension to give you that extra room, when you go to do your mag change, you have to break your grip, and I don't necessarily think that that's a good idea. Another advantage to the Hellcat Pro that I guess doesn't really count on this one because, well, this is the Apex slide, but the stock Hellcat Pro, every single one of them is optics ready. You don't have to look for an optics ready model. It's just all of the Hellcat Pros are optics ready. If you want to use an optic, cool, it's set up for it. If you don't want to use an optic, that's cool too. The other thing, you do have an accessory rail, which to me is a big deal. I don't necessarily think that everybody all the time needs a weapon mounted light, and a lot of people don't agree with using a weapon mounted light, and that's fine, but having that option from the factory is great. And a lot of the guns that people ask me about when it comes to, a comparison of the Hellcat Pro do not have an accessory rail. A lot of them come with, 8 or 10 round mags. A lot of them come not optic ready. Those are three things that I think are important when it comes to a carry gun. I like to have those options. As far as holster options go, I tend to gravitate towards my Mechanitech Talon holsters. You guys know I've been talking about those for quite a while. Great quality, great pricing. Yes, the lead times are crazy, but Mechanitech is a one-man shop. You got one guy who's doing all the work, all of the administrative work. He's doing, all of the manufacturing, the packing, the shipping, all of it. So they take a little while. That is pretty much the only complaint that I have with them. Other than that, phenomenal holsters. One thing that I have added recently is this Clinger holster pad, the Clinger cushion. These guys are pretty cool. I think these cushions cost like 20 bucks. It's a little thin, foamy cushion that you can go ahead and Velcro to the back of your holster. And that was kind of one of those things where I wanted to test it out and see how it goes. I didn't think it was going to be that great, but getting it on the holster, I can wear this thing all day long and there's never any issue of comfort. One thing I do that I don't necessarily recommend that you or most people do is, because of what I do here, creating YouTube content, I switch between guns really frequently. If you're going to do that, if you're going to carry this gun this day and this gun this day, my best recommendation is to get a lot of dry fire practice in so that you know the gun, you know the holster, you know how it's going to work when you try to grab it and use it. And for me, I'm using a Mantis X10 Elite, which I think you could probably get by with their base model. The X10 Elite is fairly expensive and it does a lot of things that most people aren't going to need. Link below if you want to check out the Mantis system. Every time I leave the house, I go ahead and do a couple of reps of dry fire while using the Mantis so that I can get a good feel for how my gun is going to work with whatever outfit I'm wearing in whatever condition that I'm in. Now, I mentioned the dry fire because the second gun I'm going to talk about is my M&P 2.0, specifically my Floyd's Custom M&P 2.0. This gun is fairly special to me. This was the first gun that I bought where it was kind of a treat to myself. There was a lot going on in my life and I saw this, I saw the reviews on it. It checked off a lot of boxes of things that are important to me as far as a carry gun. And, you know, I absolutely fell in love with the M&P 2.0. It's a little heavier than what the Hellcat Pro is, and that's why I carry it this time of year, where I can get away with concealing it outside the waistband. Now, the reason I can get away with concealing it outside the waistband is because of the G-Code Synchron holster. Now, the Synchron holster is extremely well built. This one here is for the Hellcat Pro. I don't actually use this though, because with my Hellcat Pro, I tend to carry a weapon light on it, and this is not a light-bearing holster. The Synchron sits fairly high and tight to the body with a nice forward cant. Let's see if you can get that. With this setup, I can wear a jacket like this and feel comfortable and confident that nobody is the wiser that I am carrying a gun outside the waistband. I can go ahead and bend over, I can squat down, I can sit down in my car and not feel like something is stabbing me in the junk or the gut. The problem is, of course, during the warmer months, spring and summer specifically, it's really hard to hide that. This time of year though, I will go ahead and throw the Synchron holster on and I can go on about my business and nobody has any idea that I'm carrying. This M&P 2.0, the Floyd's Custom Edition, has been cut for the optic. This one came non-optic ready and I shipped it off to Floyd's Custom Shop. They went ahead and cut it so that I could put the Hollow Sun on there. Over the years, I have changed the finish on this a couple of times. It used to be like a silver color. Now I have it green, which I don't know, I kind of prefer it this way. This gun's great. It's always been reliable. It is so comfortable in the hand. You know, some people complain about how aggressive the grip texture is on these M&Ps, but I gotta say, that stuff wears down. This, at this point, is very smooth. I could almost send this in and have it stippled because there's not a lot left there. Of course, this gun, I think I'm over 15,000 rounds on this gun. I have shot the shit out of it, and I love shooting it. So, you know, over that period of time, that grip's really wore down. Now, not only did Floyd's Custom Shop cut this for the direct fit for the Hollow Sun, but I'm also using the Floyd's Custom Shop EDC magwell. You guys know I friggin' love magwells. You know, you get so much more grip out of it when your pinky is cradled with that magwell. I really can't say enough good stuff about them. In terms of concealment, I also have this guy here. I have another Mechanitek Talon holster. So sometimes I do carry this appendix. It's not horrible that way. It is a slightly longer grip, and I do have the magwell, but it still conceals pretty well. If I'm going to go inside the waistband, though, my first choice is always going to be the Hellcat Pro. But if I want to go outside the waistband, this is my go-to gun. One of the things about the M&P 2.0, the triggers on these guys, even the new ones, they're not great. The new ones are good, but they're not great. I, of course, have the Apex flat face trigger on here. The Apex trigger makes a world of difference on the M&P 2.0. If you own one of these, you know what I'm talking about. Get down there in the comments section. Tell people how much you love that flat face trigger on an M&P. I carry this gun with the standard 15 round mag, no mag extensions on here. It does have a Floyd's mag base on it. My backup is one of the 15 round mags with a +6 mag extension. Again, I've got a 21 round backup mag for this bad boy. Now, we talked a little bit ago about the light cycle. So when I'm carrying this, I don't have a weapon mounted light, but what I do carry is a handheld. This one here is the Streamlight Wedge XT. This one's okay. I have another one that I can't find right now because these things are so small. The other one has an actual side switch on it that you push up and down. This XT has a push button on the back, which can be problematic when you push it down into your pocket and accidentally turn it on, but it works. Streamlights are great. I actually prefer those over most other things that are out there. I've used them for years, not just with, weapon lights, but outside of this type of stuff. Their handhelds have always done really well for me. I use them in my day job and beat the holy living hell out of them, and they still keep going. No EDC video is going to be complete without talking about belts. So you guys know I exclusively use core belts these days. I will leave some information down below for those, as well as the promo code. Core is the originator of these guys here, the ratcheting belt system. I love the micro adjustments that I get out of a Core ratcheting belt. This one is the Core EDC belt, and I use this when I'm inside the waistband carrying because it's got a small, low profile buckle, so I can get that in the appendix position without printing like crazy. This belt here, this is the first Core belt that I got, and it is used and abused. I wear this one probably 5 days a week. I have a black multicam that I wear generally on the weekends, and then this time of year, if I'm going to carry outside the waistband, I actually use this guy here. Hopefully you can see that. This is their Western belt. So this one, it looks a little bit tactical, right? So when I wear it and I'm wearing a jacket like this that's open in the front, you see the belt buckle. With this guy, the Western belt, you just see a big ass belt buckle. Now, that's probably no good when it comes to appendix carry, because it's just going to push out and it's not going to work out very well. With this guy, I can go ahead and just walk around. I just look like a normal guy with a big ass belt buckle. Not big, but larger than the EDC belt buckle. At the same time, I have my outside the waistband holster carrying nice and snugly to the body, and I just look like normal. That's the big thing about EDC gear, is being able to blend into the surroundings, blend into the crowd of people. I don't usually wear like 511 t-shirts and like the grunt style stuff. I don't usually wear that stuff when I'm out and about. At the very most, I'll wear one of my 360 Tactical Solutions hats. Even those are pretty unassuming. So having this Western belt and just being able to roam around and not tip people off that I'm wearing some sort of tactical belt is really nice. I also like this one. It's kind of, I don't think that it's real leather. It's like simulated leather. But again, it's still that ratcheting style belt. So if I need it just a little bit more snug, or if I have a big meal and I need to let it out a little bit, I can do that too. We've had this conversation about belts here on the channel multiple times. And a lot of people have brought up all these different belts. I've tried, I don't want to say tried them all, but I've tried a lot of them. I used to use the blue Alpha Gear belt. I gave that one to my son. I have one of the leather belts from Alien Gear. I have one from Hanks. I have a ton of these belts. And at the end of the day, the only belts that I have hanging in my closet are the core belts. I think that they're a lot more versatile and comfortable, and I like them micro adjustments. Okay, I think we've covered pretty much everything here. We have covered belts, we've covered my handheld flashlight, we've covered both my inside the waistband and outside the waistband gun options. Oh, I think we've talked about basically everything. There are some other guns that I'm testing right now, and those guns may make it into that carry rotation, but for right now, Hellcat Pro still #1 inside the waistband gun for me, and the M&P 2.0. Honestly, you can't beat it for an outside the waistband option. That's going to be it today, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. I will see you back here real soon.